Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome once again to Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's online YouTube Sunday service. Today's service is for May 1st, 2022, and this is our regular family service. So we already began the service with the chanting, or the ringing of the Kansho, the temple bell, calling us all to be mindful, to listen to the Dharma, to be ready to reflect on what we hear, reflect on our own self. And then we will now proceed to the Vandana Tisarana, praising the Buddha's enlightenment, and taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Following the Vandana Tisarana, we will chant the Sutra Gassho to Amida, and then recite the Golden Chain of Love. After that, I will share a Dharma message with you, and then we will chant the loving kindness meditation, the Metta. After that, we will sing the Nembutsu and then have some closing words and announcements. So welcome once again, and let's now begin our service with the recitation of the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I Gassho to Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I Gassho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall
From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I Gassho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I Gassho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I Gassho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida, every moment filled with light. I Gassho to Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I Gassho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Gassho to Amida. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome once again to Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple, and I would like to now share my Dharma message with you, a few reflections on the Buddha's teaching. So let's begin by putting our hands together and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Today I'd like to talk about the quality of life. So the quality of our life really depends on our outlook. That is, our way of seeing or understanding the life we're living. If we view life through the lens of stress, with a lot of stress in our lives, if we always see problems and get upset about everything, and that's understandable, there's a lot of things to get upset about, but then life does become gloomy and sad, very difficult. On the other hand, if we're able to appreciate every moment of life without judging whether it's good or bad, happy or unhappy, pleasant or unpleasant, then life will be harmonious, peaceful. We'll have peace in our minds. So whatever the circumstances are, if we're able to not judge the conditions, say I don't like this, so I'm not going to be happy, our view of life will change. Of course, under the current circumstances we're facing, with war, economic problems, inflation, the lingering pandemic, not to mention climate change, which is really always there in the background, and all the other social problems that we have, it's hard not to feel sad and stressed out. I mean, in a way, you'd have to be really something wrong with you not to feel that, or completely close off from it if you just never look at the news or never see what's going on at all. But unhappiness and depression about life has been common for a long time, long before these current problems that we have. People always have problems, something to be stressed about. One of the causes for our continual unhappiness stems from the values of our modern culture. And that, when I say modern culture, I mean, really this whole kind of, not just today with all of our extreme technology, but, going back to, industrial society and so on, ever since people have been sort of locked into this kind of, grid of kind of working society and consumerism and all that kind of stuff. We have had a kind of a hard time, I think. We've kind of been cut off from the sort of natural flow of life, the natural rhythms of life. So, in our modern culture today, we're always judging and being judged, judging ourselves, being judged by others, judging others. We always emphasize health, youth, beauty, winning, and success. You can't look at anything without seeing, comparing yourself. Gee, I don't look that good. I'm not that successful, and all those kinds of things. Now, youth and beauty, winning once in a while, being successful, they in and of themselves, they're good. They can be a good thing. They're okay. But like everything else, the pleasant things we value so much in life are always relative things. They exist in a context, the context of continual growth and change. And to emphasize them the way we do means that we do not realize that we are making arbitrary judgments about life. Health, youth, success, these can be good things, but sickness, old age, and failure can also be good, In fact, we often learn more and come to a deeper appreciation of life from the difficult and the painful experiences that we have, more than we do from happier or pleasant times. We can't always know what is best at the time anyway. We need to learn to find the best, find the good in whatever circumstances we encounter. In order to understand and appreciate life, to live beyond simple self-interest, we need to understand that health and sickness are one. They're interconnected. They're two sides of the same coin. Youth and old age are one. Winning and losing are one. Two sides of the same coin. Unfortunately, old age is just not so pleasant, especially nowadays, Especially old people just don't get the respect, I think that they used to get. So it's even worse to get old. That's understandable. And so we struggle against it. We try to find ways to stay young. Same thing with looks and so on, The world is very judgmental. We know, and then of course coming down to the ultimate unpleasant thing, which is death. We know that death is inevitable. We all know that. But we fear it, and we prefer to ignore it and pretend that it will never happen to me. Death is for other people. However, as the Buddha taught, life and death cannot be separated. To be young means to grow old. There's no youth outside of the context of aging. That's life. To live means we are moving toward death. In that process, we are constantly learning, constantly encountering the true nature of things, which are always growing and changing, always being transformed. Although we prefer to be healthy and rich, living teaches us that these are only transient conditions and are in constant flux. Holding on to being healthy, it doesn't work anyway. Eventually we all suffer sickness. And riches are success even more problematic, because holding on to them for too long can really damage us, really damage our humanity, our spiritual sense of who we are and what's really important in life. When we understand this, but when we realize everything is in flux, everything changing, when we live with that consciousness, we can appreciate each moment as a profound reflection of the eternal process of life, which is always dynamic and changing. Buddhism teaches us that everything arises, everything comes into being because of causes and conditions. When those conditions change, things change, we change. But we don't need to fear that process. Instead, we can learn from change, because it is only through realizing the certainty of change, and thus the impermanence of all things, that we can awaken to understand what is really going on in our lives at this present moment, at each and every moment of our life. Buddhism teaches us that it is very important to be aware of this reality of causes and conditions, of change, to realize nothing is fixed or permanent. Otherwise, we tend to fragment the world into all these opposites. We break the world apart into life and death, good and bad, pleasant and unpleasant, young and old. The founder of Jodo Shinshu teaching, Shinran Shonin, taught that Amida Buddha, Amida is boundless wisdom and compassion, which is enlightenment itself, Buddhahood itself, always embraces us just as we are, whether we are good or bad, young or old, wise or foolish, male or female, whatever. Of course, it is important that we always try our best in life, but we must never forget that we are all limited beings and that our understanding is always limited. We always think we know what is good, but our ideas about what is good change throughout our lives, just like everything else. The things that we strive for in our youth often become dissatisfying to us as we grow older. Our views and opinions about life constantly change, and we can never say at any point in our life that we know for certain, for absolutely certain, what is good. And that's a good thing, because we're often wrong about what we think is good. And whatever we achieve today may seem foolish tomorrow. What brings happiness today may actually result in unhappiness or sadness tomorrow. The reason for this is that our limited wisdom only goes so far. Our wisdom is self-centered, always concerned with momentary happiness. Because of this, as the Buddha taught, we follow our selfish instincts and attach ourselves to whatever seems good and pleasant at the moment. We want to hold on to everything tightly as if we could keep it forever. We resist change, and we become disappointed by the very things that once made us happy, because they change and we change, even if we're unaware of it. Living as we do in a society obsessed with consumption and distraction, this has never been more obvious. We're always being persuaded to desire some new product or new technology, and we think, oh, I have to get that. It will be so wonderful, so great. But inevitably, when we do get it, it never seems as great as we thought it would be. It's never enough. We always want more. We're waiting for the next thing. Then, of course, that next thing, that new model or version or whatever, soon comes out to satisfy our endless cravings. But it too will not be enough. And even if we do get something that makes us feel satisfied, it's only temporary. We immediately start worrying about it, about losing it, let's say, or about it breaking or something, you know, that will wear out, whatever it is. And then we remain dissatisfied on some level. So no matter how successful we are, even if we can always have, even if you could have anything and everything that you could possibly want, without exception, life will still be filled with stress and dissatisfaction. No matter what happens, no matter what you do, no matter how clever you are, how much money or prestige you have, you cannot avoid that reality. Buddha taught that if we let go of our attachments, we can attain the mind of peace, the mind that does not cling to illusions of happiness, but embraces everything and everyone equally with compassion and appreciation. This is hard for us to do, for us ordinary beings, because it is nearly impossible to overcome all of our own selfishness and our restless, unhappy mind. But Buddhism teaches us that we can attain true peace, the mind of peace, you see. This is because the mind of peace, the mind of enlightenment, is actually the Buddha's mind, the mind of reality itself, the true nature of reality. We encounter that mind of peace, the moment we begin to rely on the Buddha's wisdom, the wisdom rooted in the Bodhisattva's wish for the happiness of all beings, rather than relying on our own calculating certainties and desires and attachments. Then the Buddha's wisdom, the Buddha's light, illumines the true nature of our life and allows us all equally to embrace each moment, whether happy or unhappy, good or bad. We then begin to see everything in this new light, accepting the whole of life, ourselves and everyone around us without judgment and with kindness and compassion. So thank you very much for listening today, and let's put our hands together now and recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for our Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's online a Sunday service, YouTube Sunday service. And so I hope that this service was meaningful to you and that you were able to take away something that is will help you to reflect and to think about your life and to kind of awaken. That's our goal, really, to awaken to the present moment, to the significance and the truth that exists in each moment of living. I just have a few announcements now. Next Sunday will be Mother's Day, so we will be having in-person service as well as a YouTube service. The following week, May 15th, there will be no service at Kahului Hongwanji or YouTube service. We will be having the Fuji Matsuri, that's May 15th, Fuji Matsuri, which is the kind of a joint celebration of the birthday of our founder, Shinran Shonin, by the 4 temples in Maui, and that will be held at Wailuku Hongwanji, so you're welcome to join us there. If you're on Maui, please give a call to Wailuku Hongwanji to find out more details. So then following that, the next Sunday, May 22nd, will be our temple major service, Gotane, which is the celebration or the observance of Shinran Shonin's birthday, once again, but that's our regular temple service for that. We will also have a YouTube service that week. May 29th, there will be no service, no in-person, no YouTube service. In June, June 5th is Graduate Sunday, so if you are a Kahului Hongwanji member and you know of a graduate that ought to be acknowledged, please let us know. Give us a call here at the Kahului Hongwanji Temple. We will honor the graduates that Sunday, and there will be a lunch following at some restaurant, and those details you can find out about if you give us a call. June 12th will be our regular family service, YouTube service, and in person. Same thing with June 5th, by the way. It will be an in-person service, but there will also be, although there will be no YouTube service on June 5th. So backtracking a little, going back to Graduate Sunday, June 5th, it will be only in person, no YouTube service. June 12th, YouTube and in person. June 19th, YouTube and in person, and that will also be our Family Gratitude Remembrance Sunday. The following Sunday, June 26th, will be there'll be no service here at Kahului and no YouTube service as well. We will be having the Buddhist Study Center's summer session, satellite session here in Maui. It will be at Wailuku Hongwanji. So it will begin with the Sunday service at 9, and then there will be a lecture following. The speaker for both the Sunday service and for the lecture will be Professor Scott Mitchell, who is who specializes in studying Buddhism in the West, so the kind of things that are happening with Buddhism and developing outside of Japan and other Asian countries. So if you're interested in that, please give us a call. So that will be at Wailuku Hongwanji as well. So thank you very much for joining us, and let's close our service now by putting our hands together and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.